Today I would like to talk about how to recognize goodness. Every day we have to make new decisions. Sometimes you have to make Sometimes some of those decisions have to be made subconsciously very fast. This is about that person using his conscience or not. Conscience is something that God gives to everyone, regardless of him being a believer or a non-believer, an atheist or whatever. And conscience is given to everyone. It's a great blessing. And if the conscience is followed, it's such an amazing thing. You will always do the right thing. You will always see the right choice. And if a person, if he uses his will and follows his conscience and has a clear conscience, then he can do the right thing. And when a person does something wrong, he's doing it because he doesn't follow his conscience, although he knows what is right and what is wrong. It's actually when he does something wrong, he's hurting themselves too, because then it means that he will have a guilty conscience, and it's a very difficult thing to do. God says that people only wrong themselves, but people with clear conscience, they are happy all the time, and they are happy because they know that they are doing the right thing, they are making the right decision. You know, people come up with new formulas to find happiness, but happiness depends on having a clear conscience, loving yourself, respecting yourself, and that comes with following conscience. And many people make the mistake of thinking about conscience being related to something like giving money to beggars or something like that, but it is not true. According to Quran, conscience is the guide a person has that tells him what is right and what is wrong. If a person follows his conscience all the time, he will be able to see the truth more sharply, more clearly. First, God mentions about the inner self, which always tells people to do the wrong thing, and then the conscience, which guides people to the right thing. This was just a loose translation. I would like to read a verse about this in Enfal 29. I seek refuge in God from the accursed Satan. God says, if you fear God, God will give you a holy light and understanding that sets right from wrong. God will cover up your bad deeds, inshallah. Yes, everyone has conscience, even if he is a believer or not. Everyone has conscience, because God created people with this nature. In Room 30, God says that, I created you with this nature. God gives people the inner self and the conscience, and the believers always follow their conscience and purify their inner self. But the unbelievers, those who do not want to follow Quran, they follow their inner selves. In Name Surah, God says that some people deny just because they are arrogant. Although their conscience know that it is the right thing, they don't want to accept it because they are arrogant. This is just a loose translation of the verse. The arrogance is such a dangerous thing. That's the reason why the Satan was sent away from heaven. So God says being arrogant is a very, very dangerous thing. God says that you should not brag, because you cannot do anything. You cannot, for example, be as tall as the mountains. This is just a loose translation again. So those who follow their conscience, they side by God, and those who cover up their conscience, they are making the wrong decision, inshallah.